Hello, Mark and Nathan from Listen Up. We have some new speakers to share with you today, the Kanto ORAs.
Yeah, these are a desktop powered speaker. They are compact and ideal for workplace listening, mixing, or even as a bookshelf speaker for small to medium-sized rooms.
Let's check them out. So you and I have both been in studios a number of times where they typically have powered monitors. And I think we both have said something about powered speakers, monitors or speakers like these, just sound great. Why is that?
Well, when speaker designers when they're building a speaker, when they sit down and try and create these, what they're doing is they're trying to create something that sounds amazing across the board. Now, when you put the actual amplification into the speaker, when you put a powered speaker together, you get that pairing of an amplifier and the speaker drivers that were really designed for each other, as opposed to trying to go out there and find amplifiers to pair with the speakers. So when you first hear these, when you hear the Kanto ORAs or a lot of the speakers, the power speakers in the Kanto line, you're getting the actual intention of what the engineers intended for you to hear, intended the way for these speakers to sound. And, right off the bat, the Kanto ORAs blew all of us away. They sound amazing, and I'm just shocked at how big they sound for their size.
Yeah, they sound like studio monitors.
Very much so. They are the smallest studio monitor that I have seen that sounds as big as they do. They are probably the biggest sounding, best speakers for desktop on the market.
Hearing the ORAs, they deliver on that active speaker benefit in a big way. I think we agree. But one thing that I noticed about them is that when you turn, like small speakers, some of them, when you turn them up, they tend to distort. These kept their composure.
Yeah, they absolutely kept their composure, and they sound huge for their size. It was real fun bringing people into my desktop space. When they'd walk around the corner, I'd say, you gotta check these out, listen to this. You'd hit play and everybody sits there, their jaws drop. The clarity of the sound, the accuracy of the sound for this price point is just unmatched. Now, combine that with the amount of bass that was coming out of them, we're all sitting there going like, okay, these are, very light speakers.
Yeah.
They don't look or feel like they're gonna sound huge. Then you hit the play button and the room explodes. You're sitting there going like, why do they sound as big as they do? They're amazing. Now, I've actually produced a few tracks in my day, and one of the tracks that I have, I really made sure that the placement of sounds was kind of doing this thing where it would pan all over the place, center, left, right, and to have a pair of like $350 powered speakers, like desktop speakers, reproduce the sound in the way that I, as the artist, intended, my jaw was on the floor. I'm sitting there going like, I produced this song on a $5,500 pair of speakers, and here we are sitting with the Kanto ORAs, and they sound phenomenal. For the price, these are the best things on the market.
Yeah, they definitely fit the bill for mixing and having in a studio when you're working. But also, I think like the sound is so big and full and rich that you could have these in a medium to small size room, kind of as your go-to speakers for just recreational listening.
Honestly, yes. I could see that happening. If you are in a dorm room, or if you're in a small apartment, or something like that, or if you just need a pair of desktop speakers where you're sitting there on YouTube or streaming or gaming, these should be on your short list. These are probably the best thing that I've seen on the market. So I highly recommend checking these out.
Okay, compact and versatile. What about connectivity?
Yeah, the connectivity on this is it's all around. Basically, you have the USB-C DAC input type of thing. So if you want to go from your computer directly in, you can do that hi-fi audio. I know I actually grabbed my phone, and I was wondering if my iPhone was going to be able to connect into this, and I used a dongle, plugged it in through the USB-C, and then what do you know? I'm listening to some hi-fi tracks streaming from like Qobuz and stuff. on these, and I was able to do that hi-fi sound out of these. So that's the direct USB input. The next one that you can do is we have the RCA line in. So if you wanted an analog line in on these guys, that's there. If you wanted to connect a turntable of these, you'd have to have something with a phono preamp. So just watch out for that if you're definitely gonna connect a turntable or something. The next one is you've got Bluetooth. So Bluetooth 5.0 on these guys, and to be honest, it was really fun listening to these on both the hi-fi side of things and the Bluetooth side of things. If I wanted to just grab my phone, have some casual listening going on in the background, these things were perfect. The Kanto ORAs are just a wonderful desktop speaker, that they included all these different connections for it. Again, these are going to be my go-to desktop speakers for a long time.
So the low end on these Kantos is pretty hard to believe. In fact, when I first walked into your space and you had them on, I thought you had a subwoofer hooked up to them. But if you do want to expand your low end, how are these for pairing with a subwoofer?
So what's really awesome about these is they have a sub out. So right now, the specs on them, they go down to 70 hertz. But as soon as you plug that subwoofer out, into this, the crossover network changes, and all of a sudden the crossover cuts off at 100 hertz, and it hands everything over under 100 hertz over to the subwoofer. So that allows these to kind of really focus a little bit more on the mids and the highs.
And the high frequencies, yeah.
And
nice.
What that does is all of a sudden you get they're good to begin with, but then it's it just brings out a little bit more clarity, a little bit more detail. It doesn't have to fight for that lower end. It can just and it just rounds the speakers out even more. The thing is again, you can use these by themselves. The bass that comes out of them is shocking. But then plugging the subwoofer in, especially like the Kanto Sub 8, we have the Sub 8Bs. It's a solid pairing. All of a sudden you've got this. Again,
yeah, then you're getting that really complete full sound and these are able to focus on the mids and highs.
Yeah, it's like a hi-fi sound coming out of the speaker, and you're able to plug a subwoofer into it, and you've got a full range system all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are pretty phenomenal. I'm very much so enjoying. I've enjoyed a lot of my time with the Kanto ORAs for sure.
Okay, we touched on how compact these are. With a speaker this size, talk to me about placement.
Yeah, so placement. Again, if you have these on your desk, you're going to have them on either side of you, kind of pointed at you again. Yeah. And what we have here is these are the SE2 stands. They are also from Kanto. These are about $40. They're kind of a no-brainer when it comes to this. If you want something that looks amazing and kind of, again, it points the drivers a little bit more at you, a little bit more directional, these are kind of the stands to get. The S2s are another good option. Those, again, point the speakers at you. But when it comes to placement, they're rear ported. Right. So the closer you get them to the wall, the bassier they're going to sound. That being said, we pulled them out into an open room and they still sounded pretty thumpy. They still had that wide range of sound that was really
Bass is a little faster and tighter when you pull them out.
Yeah, it was just very much so. Now on top of that, they also have a mount. So you can actually hang these, as long as you have the right mount for that. And
for like a surround setup.
Yeah, and again, if you wanted to place these on your desk, you can absolutely do that. If you wanted to place these on a bookshelf, or kind of, let's say, you wanted a really nice pair of speakers in your dorm, or just kind of something that's going to fill up a small room, maybe even a medium-sized room in some cases. Yeah. These are the things to go. Now, they originally were meant for your desk. These are absolutely desktop speakers, but they have a really big sound for desktop speakers for sure.
Okay, that is our rundown of the new Kanto ORAs. I always like to ask, who are these for?
Yeah, anybody with a desk. Basically, if you work in any kind of workplace, if you're ever sitting at a desk, these are the speakers to have. They are fun. They'd be perfect for. They have the clarity when you're talking to people through any kind of streaming or whatnot. They have the clarity on the dialogue. They have the funness for like that casual listening. They have the clarity for the detailed listening. And if you want to use them for your workplace, if you want to use them at your desk at home, if you wanted to use them for remote stuff, again, these are pretty compact. They're kind of easy to travel with
your
too.
Main listening space,
right? Main listening space. They are fun. I highly recommend these for pretty much any
parties, people over.
Yeah,
Take
absolutely.
them on the go. I mean, look how compact.
They're fun. They're a blast, and I've had a really fun time with them, and Kanto knocked it out of the park with these.
If you're interested in learning more about the Kanto ORAs, you can check them out on our site, listenup.com, or if you want to pick some up, you can do that there too. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. We have more content on the way.